Hey everybody, welcome to the Reborn, the Rebirth, the version 2.0 of Member Spotlight.
Yes, Member Spotlight is back. Man, we hadn't done this, Davis, in probably close to 7, 8, 9 years having Member Spotlight. And tell us a little bit about, the Member Spotlight and what it's all about, Davis.
Yeah, so a couple of years ago or several years ago, we would essentially I would send a questionnaire to a member. I'd sit down with them sometimes and just ask them questions, get to know them, and then I'd put it in a PowerPoint presentation and set it to music and let it go from there. Just so it's a way to get to know everyone, because when it first started out, it was mostly everybody who went to high school or middle school together. So we all knew each other. But now, and since then, we have expanded to across the state. Even, at one time we had people outside of North Carolina and Utah, I think it was. And so, and people travel around and move and all this stuff. So we kind of want to bring the group closer together and also get to know new members that are coming in and members that's been around since day one-ish. So we wanted to kick it off today with one of our newer members, who's also going to be doing another show with us that you've already seen. Well, Bryan, I'm going to let you introduce him because you brought him in and this was your idea to do this first one. But we look forward to having everyone on Member Spotlight and really getting to know members and bringing us closer together as a group, because I think now more than ever that's more important in these tough, unprecedented times. Sorry, I had to say that. But I feel like it's more important. That's one thing that remains constant with this group. No matter what happens in WWE, no matter what happens in AEW, I love this group, and this group is fun to be around, fun to make fun of wrestling with, and have we want to get back to having pay-per-views and going to events together again soon. But in the meantime, we want to take this time to get to know each other.
Yeah, definitely. And, it's pretty cool to be doing this in video form. We used to do it, like you said, having slides and whatnot, but now we're going to be actually talking to people directly, and that's going to be cool. So, yeah, without any further ado, our very first guest here on Member Spotlight is my coworker, Mr. Cameron Bullock. Welcome, Cameron.
Hey, guys, how you doing? Thank y'all for having me. I appreciate it. I've been looking forward to this. Feels good to be around wrestling fans, to be able to converse and to have a good time, chop it up, talk fun about it, make fun of it, because as we all know, wrestling is very easy to make fun of. But thank you all for having me. I appreciate it, and let's get this going.
Yeah, let's get started. Yeah, so first maybe just tell a little bit about yourself, how you got into wrestling and whatnot. So
yeah, well, my name is Cameron. I am 28. I am from Tarboro, North Carolina, Eastern North Carolina, Tarboro, Rocky Mount area. I'm not sure how familiar you guys are with it. But yeah, from Tarboro, North Carolina. I've been living here in Raleigh for about 8 years. 8 years now. Back in June, moved up here for college. I went to college at Living Arts College. It's in Wakefield, North Raleigh area. Study audio production and sound design. I do work on music, work with art, multimedia. Recently got into film editing, so pretty big into the arts. Music's my first love, though. Been playing ever since I was 5 or 6 years old, banging on pots and pans, disturbing the peace, knowing my parents, all that stuff. And then gradually, played music in school, different bands and stuff like that. Grew up in church, played in church, all those things. And then eventually went to college to work on production and stuff like that. So that's a huge part of my life. Sometimes it's heightened, sometimes I don't really work on much. But yeah, music, wrestling, huge fan of anime. I don't know if you guys are in anime or not. Huge fan of that. Just got back into it recently the last few years. Huge Dragon Ball fan, all those things. So any anime fans out there, hit me up. I like to talk anime as much as wrestling. Actually, a friend of mine had a podcast last year. We worked on a few episodes where we kind of just talked about anime and stuff and gaming and all those good things like that. So it's on hiatus right now, but it will be back at some point soon. But yeah, huge fan of anime, wrestling. Got a dog named Riley. She's a Beagle Jack Russell Terrier mix. Also have a girlfriend. Her name is Haley. She honestly also has become a wrestling fan through me as well. Never watched it before at all. Never heard of it before at all. And I got her. I roped her
Nice.
in.
That's not easy to do. That's not easy to do, man.
It's not easy. It's not easy. So shout out to her. She accepts me for who I am and all the weird stuff that I like. So can't find a better one than that.
And that's fantastic. We're excited to have you a part of the group. And as far as anime, we're going to point you to Aaron Scott.
Yeah.
He's one of he wasn't a founding member, but he's been a very impactful member of 10 Count. He's helped us get where we're at today. Came in season 2, but he's an anime fan, and he's tried to convert me, and it's been slow. For that, because and even my girlfriend likes some anime too, and so but he's tried to Attack on Titan, and he wanted me to watch Ruby, and I keep saying I will, and here we are 5 years later or whatever it is, and I promise, Aaron, I will.
So there's a few it's called gateway anime. It's a few gateways that'll help you get into the genre because it's an acquired taste. So,
yeah. I mean, it's like just with almost anything. With me, beer, it was an acquired taste, and now that I've acquired it,
he's
hooked. He's hooked, boys.
It's there. But this isn't about us. This is about you. So tell us, what is your first wrestling memory that you have that you looked on fondly or not fondly, but your first wrestling memory?
So my family, not as much now as they were back in the day, but I grew up born in 91. So by the time I got into wrestling, it was the later 90s, like 97, 98, golden years, as you all know. So, my first, I have two memories. So my first memory, I don't remember the exact episode of Raw, but I remember I was at my grandparents' house and we were all watching wrestling. I don't have any memories of anything whatsoever, but I remember everybody freaking out because Shawn Michaels super kicked or sweet chin music Vince McMahon in the middle of the ring. And at that time, that was a little unheard of because McMahon was, he wasn't, the tyrant just yet. So he was kind of working his way up there. And so for your boss to get kicked in the face by one of his employees, that kind of sent spirals across the place. That was one memory. My other first memory was it was a random WCW not pay-per-view, just Raw, not Raw, God, Nitro. And it was a match between Bam Bam Bigelow and Rey Mysterio Jr. And that's my first memory of watching wrestling. And then I just remember each Monday night, my mom was in love with The Rock, in that time, and not for his entertaining, and for his looks. So we were watching, and I grew up in church, so I was very shocked that my parents allowed me to watch wrestling in the Attitude Era, because as you know, anything could happen. It was TV-14, half naked women, swearing, sexual gestures, all types of things. And so I was very shocked, but that shows you how entertaining it was back in the day to where it can captivate anybody. And my parents, found it entertaining, and The Undertaker and The Rock and Stone Cold and Mankind, all of those larger than life characters at that time. And I was a kid, so I was very enthralled by it and very engulfed by it. And so my earliest memories of wrestling was growing up in the Attitude Era, playing WCW Revenge on the Nintendo 64, playing Warzone and WWF Attitude, all those things. And so it was a really family bonding thing for me and my cousins as well. And they had a trampoline, so we do wrestling moves. Me and my close cousin, who was an age 1 year younger than me, we were the Hardy Boys. So we'd always do swantons and leg drops and all kinds of stuff, and on the trampoline and stuff like that, and all types of stuff as kids. So it was family that brought me into wrestling, and that's pretty much what got me into it and has started the 28-year journey that it is that I'm still riding.
Fantastic.
speaking about wrestling and whatnot, that kind of makes me think about you and Kenny Davis. You know, you told me y'all used to wrestle back in your living room way back, and
yeah, living room was.
Yeah. Well, you know,
slams on the bed.
Yeah. Well, it was. Yeah. Sometimes we'd bring like I had a bunk bed in my room, and we'd take the mattress off the top one because I was the only one sleeping in there. My sister had her own room, so we take that one in there and we put it on the middle of the floor, move the coffee table out of the way. And my mom used to have this high chair that I don't know what we ever used it for, but we would climb it like the ladder and then jump off of it, and it was a great time. Like, yeah, I didn't have a trampoline, so we did the next best thing.
There you go.
I didn't either. My cousins did. So
yeah. I mean, it's probably a good thing I didn't have access to a trampoline because I feel like I would have gotten hurt. Yeah. See,
hard up and everything, broken arms.
Yeah. Bryan, you got anything you wanted to ask or bring into it? Anything?
No, I think I think we can maybe move if you want into the this or that segment that we're going to be doing, and if you want to just explain, I mean, it's pretty simple, but explain that to everybody, and then we can. Sure.
So there's, I thought it'd be a great idea to kind of like pick a couple of things and just ask you, Cameron, what you want, what you prefer, this or that.
I got a couple of clues, so
and so if it's neither, that's fine. But if you had to pick which of these is like first comes to mind that you would go for. So we'll start off WWF or WCW?
WWF.
Okay. And let's say Trish or Lita?
Lita.
Okay. The Rock or Stone Cold?
Rock, baby.
Okay. I can smell what you're cooking. The Undertaker or Shawn Michaels?
Shawn Michaels all day. Got a painting right there signed by him.
Oh, you'll have to show us a little bit if you can. PlayStation or Xbox?
I had that one. He took that one.
So which one?
Right there.
So what'd you say?
I said PS4 is right there.
Oh, PS4. All right. There you go. You're smart man.
And this next one, if you don't drink, you can just say neither. But tequila or whiskey?
Tequila.
Okay. Gin or vodka?
Gin.
Okay. And brunch or dinner?
Dinner.
Promos or in-ring action?
In-ring action.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say that, but I heard you talking about that before.
I love a good promo.
Yeah.
I love a good promo. Don't get me wrong.
I had to, when you were talking about that earlier, I was like, okay, there's a this or that I actually know the answer to, but what do you got, Bryan?
Well, you took a lot of mine, but I got a couple here. You took a lot of mine. Sting or The Undertaker? I talked about Taker earlier. Sting or The Undertaker?
The Undertaker. It was a staple of my childhood.
Yeah. Tony Schiavone or the good old JR?
By God, man. You already know.
I mean, your name's a slobber knocker, so I mean, I figured it would probably be JR.
I gotta respect the Oklahoma Sooner.
Yeah.
I don't know if he went there or not.
I don't know. Yeah, I've been meaning to actually try his barbecue sauce for a long time, but
I was gonna say, and my favorite condiment is barbecue sauce. So by default.
I mean, he's just a winner all around.
Yeah. Exactly. How about this? Speaking of that, mustard or ketchup?
Oh, mustard. I loathe ketchup, man.
Really?
I could spend the rest of this episode.
Oh, Davis loves it.
How much I hate ketchup. I'm sorry, man. I can't.
No,
I can't.
It's fine.
Do that.
It's fine. The funny thing is, I actually had that on my list, but I was like, no, that's too ridiculous. Like, who cares? But I didn't know you had such strong feelings about against ketchup.
I've almost gotten in fights because of ketchup before.
That's insane.
I hate it, man. I despise it.
See, that's the thing. Like, Bryan, do you remember at school, they would police us from getting ketchup and ranch? Like, we would have to ask for it, and they would give you 2 packets because people would, like, get a handful of it and throw half of them away.
Was that in high school? Or?
Yeah. Yeah, senior cafeteria, when we'd go in there, there was that older guy. There was an older guy in there. He was kind of a jerk. I'm going to be honest with you. I know this isn't about us, but, he was kind of a jerk. But he would always hoard those ketchup packets. Like he was waiting for the apocalypse. You asked him for some, and he'd give you one. He'd give you one, and it's like, I got 8 nuggets here. What do you think I want to do with one bag of ketchup and 8 nuggets?
I hate when I run out of nuggets before, or run out of condiments before the nuggets are finished.
Tell me about it. And then if I have to get up and go to the fridge to get more, I'm going to be pissed.
Yeah.
But it's my own fault. I should have put more on the plate. But anyway. But yeah, Bryan, you have anything else? A1 or Heinz 57?
Oh well, yeah, no.
A1.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh man,
Thank you.
Come
Now
on.
that we could agree.
I like both, but yeah. One more question for you, and then we'll kind of wrap it up. Who is your favorite wrestler of all time, and why? Or one of your
favorite wrestler of all time is the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. Even though I started watching after his first era was over, but I really respect, because I got into it after in the Attitude Era, which he had pretty much phased out by then before he came back for his 02 return.
Yeah.
Out of all time, Shawn Michaels. But I also kind of get a little technical with it as far as like of different eras, because the eras are completely different now than back in the day. But Shawn Michaels and Jeff Hardy when I was a kid. I was Jeff, my cousin was Matt, and we'd always just like pair up and be the Hardy Boys and just you guys ever play SmackDown Just Bring It for
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the game that solidified me as a wrestling fan, man. Like that was probably arguably the greatest wrestling game ever, in my opinion. Lots of nostalgia tied with it, no doubt.
Yeah,
but.
yeah. I've been watching. It's not. I think. What is it? Is it Here Comes the Pain that Xavier Woods has been playing on Up, Up, Down, Down?
Yeah.
And he played that, and he played Shut Your Mouth.
Yeah, all those 2000s.
And and I want those so bad. I want to replay them because I remember playing WWF Attitude.
Mm-hmm.
And I sucked at it so bad, but I loved it, But yeah, so I do have one more, one more for you, and then we'll wrap up and end it. But how many events have you been to wrestling wise?
Oh man, I've been going to more of them this last decade, 2010s. Which the biggest one I went to was WrestleMania last year.
Yeah, okay.
That was it's my first time going to WrestleMania. Mostly I always go to the shows here, if they come to Raleigh or Greensboro and sometimes Charlotte. But I made it, I was going to say I'm going to go to WrestleMania, once I get the money to do it. That's the main thing. It's travel, all those things like that. And so once again, my lovely girlfriend, she was down to go make a New York trip out of it, and New York, New Jersey. And that was the biggest one I went to last year. It was an unreal experience, that's for sure. Went to Access 2 days before that in Brooklyn. That was pretty fun. Didn't get a chance to go to Takeover. I wanted to, but I didn't have the funds for all of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, mostly I go to the ones if they come to PNC Arena or the Greensboro Coliseum, because my girlfriend's from Greensboro, so we would go visit her parents and everything. And they live right by the Coliseum, so easy parts easy. 20 catchphrases, whatever.
Yeah.
But probably in total, maybe 10 to 15 in total.
Okay. Cool. All right. Well, that was Cameron. Thank you so much for coming back on to our reborn member spotlight. We look forward to doing more with more members. We'll be reaching out to everyone shortly and doing our own little shows. But thanks again. Hope you have a good one, and we'll end it here.
All right.
If I can put